think, you know, as a Black man, to be in this space and be seen like that too, that's also a sense of trauma.
Yeah.
Like I completely see that. But it's almost like we don't like lean on each other. It's like we fight each other. Yeah, so that's that.
Do you feel protected by Black women in Portland?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surrounded by Black women that protect me. I try to platform them as much as possible because, in my opinion, like salvation of the planet depends on Black women. Period. Period. There's another way to look at it. When you asked if I think I felt protected by Black men, like I knew that answer. I mean, I'm like, there's no reason. Here, absolutely not. Nah. Some of the actions that I see, I'm just looking at dudes like, word.
In that moment, when you see actions done by dudes, when you're saying word, do you ever go up to them and be like, word?
Half of the time. Not as much as I should. Definitely not as much as I should. And usually those actions are something I'm hearing secondhand from someone else. But in those moments, if I have the ability to affect it, yeah, I'm like, bro, you're not doing it. Like, chill. You still make the model of you that, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't be doing that. And there's a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, there are things to look at on both sides. Men and women are unique experiences here. But for me as a man, it's always the power dynamic. So, like, yeah, I think we are actively in the position as men to make sure that we're shifting the same way, you know, we want to have conversations about racism. This is a white person's problem. This is white people's situation to fix. White people need to talk to white people. Black men need to talk to Black men about some of the ways about all the ways we're treating our women. And we can't be upset with the way our women react to being treated and then say, well, this is the problem. My G, like, this is from decades of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so, yeah.
And do you feel protected by Black women?
When you first asked me, it was going to take me a minute to answer the question because I had to actually think about it. In the past, I probably would have said no, but over the last few years, I realized that there have been a lot who have been protecting me, and I didn't know that. And in a weird way, you know, thanks to the name of the show, I feel like I might cry because there's a lot of people who, as I get, you know, I'm out in the community a lot, and I'm like, not a public figure, but a lot of people know me. And so I'm very fortunate that there are a lot of people who know me and who show love both to the business, but also to me as a person, like, you know, personally, all that stuff. But I never realized how many people, like, there are a lot of people who show love. I did not seriously focus on how much it is Black women. Single, with families, moms, young people, whatever. But if I really was to, like, look out, there's a whole lot, and it has been really important. And I started to understand a little bit ago that maybe the way my outlook on it was because I wasn't respecting that. And so hopefully y'all tell me, but I feel like I'm uplifting as much as I can Black women, because I feel like Black women are the most powerful. And I think that's also why y'all's voice is muted.
Yeah.
Right? So
We're feared the most.
yeah. Feared the most for a good reason. Right? Like, cause when y'all get that spot, you know what I'm saying, then this you know, whether but the table doesn't have to get flipped, right? I mean, like, it's not even that, it's more like, you wanna do that for real? You're like,
Guys, you can stop that.
right?
Right.
I don't want to do that for me, you're right. You know?
Right.
Or you know, whatever it might be. Whether it
Black
be
woman keep you
a
accountable.
look,
You said.
comment, whatever, right? So, yeah, I think it's, y'all hold me the most accountable. I can slide, you know, around if I needed to, or if I wanted to, but because I know that y'all are watching, I have to not do X or Y or Z, right? So I don't know. I mean, y'all can tell me if I'm lying, but that is how I feel. I never noticed it until over like the last, like, I would say probably 2 years. pre-Black Lives Matter. I'm not gonna say that that's the reason why it popped up, but I don't even know what it actually was. I think I just one day was like, man, there's a lot of love out here, you know. So.
And I know you said no, but Alicia, do you feel protected by Black men out here?
It's hard to answer that because I don't feel like men, like all the men out here the way we feel on the East Coast. But I do feel like I have male friends that protect me. You know, just recently being invited into the founder space, the Black founder space, where it's very male dominated. I feel protected and loved by y'all. Like y'all getting to know me getting to know y'all. I really appreciate that space that we have there. So I can't say men in Portland because I don't feel that way. But I can say like the individual relationships that I'm building with men here, I feel it. But on the flip side of your question, sometimes I feel like I'm very nurturing. That's my nature. But I feel like when you try to be that way with Black men here, they get scared and they think that you want to be their girlfriend or their wife. And it's just like, no, I'm just trying to love on you. Like, why do you now exile me just because I don't know, check on how you doing mentally today, you know? And that's what the Black men do here. They back off, like they automatically assuming because Black women aren't really, because of what we feel, they think that automatically we want to date you because you're Black. Nah, I'm just trying to check on you, my brother. Like,
Yeah, I think sometimes we feel judged whenever that happens. And we're like, man, you know, like, you know, but it's not. But we shouldn't perceive it as a judgment or as like we're trying to date or whatever.
I will say too, I feel like there's a difference between like the Black men who have come here, like for corporate specifically, and maybe some other Black men who have either like come for other reasons or maybe are more local. Just for me, like I feel like in that corporate space, for some reason there's more of like there's more of disconnect, I guess is the word that I would use. I feel like the corporate men, I feel like I feel like where you're getting at, but I don't want to assume that I know. But I feel like the corporate men, especially the men that are in the design world, they want to date an aesthetic, which oftentimes that aesthetic isn't Black women. They want to, you know, I feel that way a lot with like the Black hype beast men. Yes, and I also feel like too, like if you're a Black man with like a corporate job and you're in Portland, that's when the white people are gonna feel like yeah. But I think, and so yeah, I think with some other men, I think they're just more,
It could still be a precondition thing. Success. What does success look like?
Right.
Success looks like you have your trophy. What does your trophy look like? What are you conditioned to thinking? That sounds like more the conditioned men. And the reason why I laugh for hypeness is, I'm not going to say their name because I do really love this Black man and I feel protected by this Black man and this Black man is one of my best friends. But one day I had said to him he had a type and he didn't understand what I meant. So I was like, okay, let's go in our DMs. Look at everyone you said that you've been talking to for the past year. Let's line up their photos next to each other. There's a certain cadence of shade and you're talking to someone who is lighter than you saying this.
Right.
There's a certain shade that you're not dating past.
Yeah.
Let's line them up.
Is it a hair texture too? Shades, hair textures.
Body types, they all look cut and paste
Yeah,
with a different background in their IGs.
I feel like you're about to say something.
Mm.
Just thinking, oh, okay. My sister has 2 older kids, like I was saying, but they're 5 and 6 years younger than me. So they call me Uncle Ian, but they're my peers essentially. And I had broken up with somebody, I don't know, probably 2014 or something like that. And they had asked me, hey, Uncle Ian, how's so-and-so? Oh, we're not together anymore. And she had said, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Ian, but that's okay. You kind of date the same person all the time anyway. And I was like, what? And I was mad, and then I went, and I was like, damn.
It's a reflection for me. Myself.
Yeah, it was like, you know, like Beth, Amber, Stephanie, you know, whatever. And I was like, I gotta make a change. and to be honest, probably a year later, I decided that I would no longer date white women. And so whether it's not, I'm not saying like it was only Black women. Have I dated Black women? Yes. Have I dated other women? Yes. But it was a definite like I'm not.
You take a break.
That break took me forever. But and I've said this to white women and they've been like, what? I was like, there's a clause.
Hey man.
following this contract. I'm not doing it no more. And because I understood that there was a cadence, there was like something that I don't know why I was desiring it, and I do some therapy and whatnot since, and I think I understand a bit, but still I was like, that ain't working. I gotta go this way. So.
Sounds like a black man taking accountability today. We love to.
Oh yeah.
Trying.
Well, guys.
She's like, at work.
Well, first off, I want to thank you all for having a healthy, challenging conversation. Give it up for yourselves. Thank you so much for sitting down with us today. Typically, how I end the show is I'll usually ask the guests to name 3 songs and shoot. No, we're not doing any of that. And then I'll usually ask the guests also to give some key insights, some word of wisdom to a younger Black version of yourself. But I think for today, instead, can we do for the men on the mics, what word of wisdom will you give to Black men to protect Black women? And for the women on the mic, what word of wisdom will you give Black women to protect Black men? And then we can start.
Like a literal word? Or
Mic drop,
Got it.
You get rap,
That's that bar. Less talking and more listening. Like, that's it. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You just don't. You have an idea that you guys don't figure it out based on your perspective, and we're not talking about your perspective. So stop centering yourself in these conversations with my friends. Just listen.
I think I would say to make sure that we have their back, that we have y'all's back too. Because a lot of times we get support, most times we get support and we perceive it as something different. And I say that's men in general think that somebody's like, hey, how you doing? That means you want to get down. No, it doesn't.
I really don't know.
And so, but more than that, it's just like sometimes I'm just checking in to make sure we're okay. And out of respect, and out of love, and out of growth for all of us, we should do the same. Okay, so.
Black women. They're like, y'all on your own. You guys
Figure it out.
I guess I would say, and now definitely having 2 nephews and just looking at men and just thinking that, I know it's cliche, but that is someone's son. That is a human being that's just trying to make it out in this world. So how can you pursue or care and love? I feel like I like where you go on ambush about listening, because I think oftentimes we don't really get the chance to hear out somebody's point of view and what they experience. And so it's interesting to just let them talk and hear about how this thing affected them, and hear their point of view on dating and all these different things, just being there as a soundboard to understand, and then coming with your questions and your dialogue. But I do appreciate that, because I think sometimes we can be quick to just attack and well, this is why, but we take the time to create a safe space for men to want to be vulnerable and share their point of view on different things in life.
And that I feel like a desire to attack is just, us being defensive,
Right.
and taking it you're still centering yourself even when you're listening, and still thinking it's about you.
Right.
One of the most impactful things I learned just listening to women, especially talking about dating. And of course, y'all was yeah, of course, everyone knows that. But this friend of mine was like, yeah, we have to make a conscious effort about what shoes we wear on the first date. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it was like, if I don't really know this person, I need to wear a shoe that's comfortable enough for me to run in. Or a shoe that's heavy enough or pointed enough heel that I can use as a weapon. And I was like, what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I heard this 4 years ago. I heard that 4 years ago. And as a man, when you're thinking about what sneaks you're gonna wear on a first date, you're not considering safety at all.
Yeah.
Completely foreign concept, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, mind blowing.
That's really sad. Yeah.
Yes.
We did that.
Really sad.
We did that.
Do you have a word for us?
Of course I do. Y'all ready for it? It's gonna be the best mic drop ever.
Uh-oh.
Ready? BlackMenCryToo is an invitation for menopause to share their truth and unpack their hurt. You can follow us and tune into conversations bi-weekly, monthly, whenever you feel ready to get your healing journey kicked off by subscribing to us on YouTube or following us on Instagram. This has been another episode of BlackMenCryToo. Love it? Before we actually cut it off, can we do, before we actually cut it off, if we can do a soundbite of